Welcome to the podcast, guys. All the Rest podcast come to you for week 4. We got anytime touchdowns for you. We got a little fantasy week 4. We got some weird props that we've been hammering home all week. Rouse's round robin for you this week. I also got a little bit of football guidance for you. And then Bettor X is going to be with us for one bet to save them all. Stick around. Welcome back, guys. All the Rest podcast with you here. We got JD Rouse on location in Miami.
Yeah. We are here.
I asked you how your week's going, but as a Broncos fan, I know probably not great. How was the game? 70 points withstanding.
The game was definitely fun to watch if you're rooting for the Dolphins, of course. It was a great, lovely stadium. Fans were actually pretty good. Me and my boy were wearing our Broncos gear.
Of course.
I think we stood up once to cheer for it was the fourth down stop they had. I'm like, it's gonna all Broncos from here, and it was not.
But I mean,
it hates that game.
Yeah, you hate to watch your team get throttled, but I guess if you're going to go to a game, you get to see 90 points. It's better than watching, like that Browns Steelers game from a couple years ago that was 3-0. You know what I mean? At least you get to see some points.
Absolutely.
So.
Yep.
Well, we're glad to have you in. It was touch and go there on whether we were going to get you in on the this week with you. Bettor X was on standby, ready to do some touchdown props, and him and I talked about it last night. He said, "Hey, I'm ready to go. I got some touchdown props for you." So I said, "I think Rouse is going to be ready for us." So we're glad you're here. We'll get right into it. So let's see. Let's start across the pond. Let's start with the Falcons and the Jaguars. This is an interesting one for those of you night owls that don't sleep much. I think the game starts at 6 o'clock, 6:30 something Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's going to be depending on where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Pacific time it's going to be 6:30. I love the London games. I will be up. I will be watching it. Well, I don't know. I'm on vacation for a week.
You guys land Saturday night, right?
Disney World.
Yeah.
We land Saturday. We actually fly out tomorrow morning at 7. So I will be home.
Okay.
And
you'll have some rest.
So
you'll have some rest in you.
I can watch that London game. Love me those games.
Well, I will be over. I do as well. And we liked the Jags in that game. We end up not using it, but I do want to watch it. So anything you like score wise? Oh, first of all, before we get into the Sunday games. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to 100% go in all year, and then he's a Thursday game, so obviously we don't fire anything Thursday game, and he just snap scores. It's just like, oh my God. At least Laporta didn't go in twice or some absolute pants on your head tomfoolery. And Jordan Love ran one in. Quarterback rushed one in. So.
Yeah, we obviously I usually bet when I'm home I bet those Thursday night games, but
I'm going to fire. I didn't get over.
We were in the Animal Kingdom. I had no time to bet, and I was just.
So, anything you like in this Jaguars game? Anything you on there that you see?
It's kind of hard every weekend. Like Ridley.
I say this is your standard Calvin Ridley sell.
Yeah,
I think Christian Kirk is good value there. If the Jaguars can get it going, plus 180, I think he's not terrible value.
Yeah, I like a lot of. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think they're going to put on a show.
Sure.
I think both teams are kind of, the Jags aren't what we thought they were going to be. I thought they were hyped up a little bit more. They're a little sluggish. They're playing that home crowd, which it will be a home game for them.
Mm-hmm. Bettor X and I were just talking about that last night. That man, what is going on with the Jags? Whoop. We might have lost Bettor X here. As you know, things are pretty Stone Age in Florida, so we may have lost him here. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's back. He's back. All right.
All right, we're back.
All right.
I don't know if I'll fire on any of this. Maybe the over. Something like this, I might do a first-time touchdown. Just pick one of your guys that you think is going to score.
Sure.
Obviously with Ridley probably first those first time scores you're going to get like plus 6 to 900. Those are always kind of fun.
Yeah.
One of those things like once someone scores, it's either good for you or just ruin your whole day. But
Sure.
something I absolutely love here to throw in a guaranteed parlay or anything.
I
So.
I like a Ridley Kirk stack here. The
Uh,
the Falcons,
yeah.
one of the places the Falcons have been really vulnerable this year is in the secondary, deep secondary. So I like a nice Ridley Kirk stack. But yeah, this was not a game that I have super targeted on my. It's one of those ones where it's going to be 6 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be up. It's going to be the intro. I don't want to. I don't want my blood pressure to be 400 at 6:40. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of these times, my biggest problem is, there's only one game, so you're like, well, I got to bet everything on this, and I end up
Right.
betting way too much on this. And,
I I
it's
agree.
one of those,
So it's
like,
a
hey, if
total. It's just a
everyone
total
scores a
fade for me.
touchdown, I'm going to make a lot of money. But
Right. It's just a total fade
unfortunately,
for me. I think.
like I
Yeah.
said, that's why I might just do a small little first time touchdown, and that way, if I doze off when I'm
Sure.
tired, if I
Sure.
miss the game, it's not
Sure.
missing much. So
We will watch the opening kickoff for sure. Go run the opening
yeah,
kickoff back. No one will have him, and then we'll just be able to take a nap.
I was going to say, yeah.
All right. Let's see. So let's start. Let's start with the key, the marquee matchup this week. Two top five. What I think are two top five NFL teams. The Dolphins and the Bills. This is a weird one because I think two electric offenses, but also two defenses that have been pretty stout. So where does the give go? And I know you have firsthand experience here. So what do you think?
I thought the Dolphins thought they were going to be pretty good this year. Watching them live and just seeing how coaching, I mean, Denver, I can talk for days on how bad their defense is, but
Sure.
the bird's eye view, I saw everything. I mean, they are doing everything, pulling out a lot of the trick plays, those no look passes. They got something figured out. I think both these teams are going to score. I think their offenses are better than their defense, which
Yep.
not to dog on their defense. They have a great defense, both of them, but
The
a lot
Bills,
of
the
scores
Bills
here. You
defense
can
is
go
coming
with
around, but
anybody.
the Bills defense is coming around. But I think again, Miami, I think obviously the best offense in the league right now, and so it's the immovable object against the unstoppable force here. So it's kind of a mystery for me.
Absolutely.
This is one of the ones I haven't really decided on. We may get to the, we may get to the ticket counter, and I may just rattle one off here. I had a nice Bills stack. I had the Bills stack last week with Latavius Murray or it might have been Cook that went in, and Allen ran one in, and the Diggs was the stopper again.
The problem here for me is just the value. There is none.
Yeah, I mean, Allen to run one in
It's a lot of these guys
125.
are minus. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Diggs minus
you
130.
can stack a lot of these guys.
Right.
I mean, they scored 10 touchdowns. Obviously, anyone from Miami can score. Who's, this is one where I think I'm going to do Tyreek Hill first touchdown score. I think they're going to come out. They're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to. Tyreek Hill is fast. Like I
Yep.
said, seeing him in person, the guy
Yeah.
is ridiculous. I mean, there's a reason they call him Cheetah. I understand
Sure.
now. I witnessed it. I think he's scoring first. I think the Dolphins are gonna, I mean, it's gonna be 5 plays in, and they're already got points on the board.
First, I think it's about plus 800 too with him for the first touchdown. I think Latavius Murray is good value here, 280 against a really physical Dolphins front seven. I think they're going to have Murray in there more than Cook, and I think he's good value. It's crazy because Cook is 115, but Murray is 280, and they're basically splitting goal line carries.
Yeah, and I've got Cook fantasy wise, and
Mm-hmm.
when it gets on the goal line, Latavius Murray's been there. So
Yeah.
and
he's
as
first
much
touchdown.
as I hate seeing him score for 200, anything over 200. That's pretty good.
And he's plus 2,000 for the first score as well, which I think is good value as well. So
I mean, throw a $5 bill on that. Why not?
Oh yeah, I mean you got a Hunsky on it, and it's you're stunting pretty nice there. So
yeah.
Okay, let's see. We got the Commanders. There's a lot of weird games this week. There's a lot of really good teams against really bad teams, and the lines are kind of funky because it's like all the value for me is on some of these bad teams. Like you look at the Commanders, like all these, like you looking at this Commanders versus Eagles matchup, right? When you're looking at the lines, one, two, three, four, five, six. You go six guys down. Okay, Brian Robinson's in there, but six guys down before you get another commander guy. So you
For you're
got
in the yeah.
and so it's like and they're all like that. You look at the Chiefs and the Jets. You look at and it's kind of weird. Like, do you? There's nothing more frustrating than when you take Terry McLaurin to go in here for 1+230. That's good value, and then they score three, and you're like, you know. So it's like these are
you know.
You have thoughts on this one?
Uh, it's one of those. There's no value on the Eagles side. I think the Commanders can score 3 and 3 only. It's.
I feel like
nothing I absolutely love
sure.
here.
I think that I feel about this game the same way I feel about the Eagles game, or about the Chiefs game, excuse me. The 49ers game is the same way against a really bad team, laying a ton of points. I like, instead of like picking somebody and putting them together, I might just exclusively stack this game. Like, let's just go ahead and throw Hurts, Swift, and Brown and Devontae Smith all together, or Hurts, Smith, and Brown all like the 135, 140 range. And let's just trust these teams to just go out and just beat the shit out of some of these bad teams and just hang a ton of points. You know what I mean? And then that way it's contained. Yeah, so I think that's probably where those three games I might just take out of it and just lean on these heavy teams. You know what I mean? Because I don't think there's value anywhere else. Yeah. Like I said, because all three of the teams have the defenses are excellent. Eagles, Chiefs, Niners, all excellent, and it could very well be that the Commanders, the Jets, and the Cardinals combine for like 14, 13 points this week. You know what I mean? Like, that's well within the realm of possibility. And so it's like, I don't want to be standing there with my junk in my hand, holding a Joshua Dobbs ticket, which I would never have anyway. But you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. After them beating them Cowboys,
I'm like, which I would never have, and you're like, crossing him.
I would never do that. I'm not afraid. I going back, I said I didn't like anything. I actually do like AJ Brown here. I don't think he's scored yet.
Plus 135, I agree. I think there's value there. Absolutely.
He's frustrated. Last game he was a little better. I think he still wants to score. I can even see him scoring twice this game. If they're going to throw the ball, they're going to chew up this team.
Sure.
It's not even going to be close.
Sure.
I think I definitely love him scoring once, maybe even flirt with two.
Yeah, I think we've been really. It's been a weird year because we've stacked a lot of these 2 touchdown guys together, and there hasn't been a lot. I don't know if there's been a wide receiver that's gone in twice. There's been some running backs, Swift, Mostert 40 times,
and you do get a little bit more value on the wide receivers for the 2, but it hasn't really happened.
I know. It's weird.
That have where like your random Josh Reynolds and
okay, that's true. Okay, I'm talking about
we're on the team.
Right, I'm talking about like plus 130 or less guys that you would really have.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never taking Josh Reynolds to go in twice. You know what I mean? It's like plus 2,500. Like, it's just lighting money on fire. You know what I mean? Guys that you would take, we haven't had any guys that have gone in twice. So, the Vikings and the Panthers. This is 0-6 together. This is another one where it's like,
someone's got to win.
Yeah, and I think both teams are capable of putting up points. I think that I don't know. This is a weird one for me. I think I like when I'm looking at it. I think there's good value in maybe like a Chuba Hubbard 165. And I'm gonna go ahead and save the other guy I like because I know he's gonna be the first guy you talk about. So I'll let you go ahead and say him.
I am not going to talk about Adam Thielen.
I knew it was there. 205. I think he's good value.
But I don't understand how he's that. I mean, there is so much value there. I actually do love Adam Thielen. Week in and week out.
I don't love him.
Adam Thielen, but like,
yeah, I love him.
Yeah, I don't like him. I love him. Yeah, it's just he's their only guy they have. I don't love Chark. I just think he's the lead guy. I wish Andy Dalton was in this game, though.
It is going to be. I think it is going to be Andy Dalton.
Nope. Just checked about an hour ago, and they said Andy's going back on the bench.
Oh,
so
Bryce Young
I
cleared.
think if
Oh,
Andy,
okay. That is news. I checked
think
it this.
if
I checked it this morning, and I thought it was Andy Dalton. So that's wow. That's a live look. We're looking. Obviously, we're filming here Friday afternoon, so that's a live look. I think I agree with you. I think that devalues Thielen a little bit. Because
it does. It scares me.
I think it might
I still,
might make Mingo the best pick there at plus 290 because
yeah. It's like I said, I don't think I'm going to throw it in.
he's been Young's
It's
guy.
kind of hard to flirt with it. I might. We'll see how I'm feeling when I fire all the bets.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the value's there. But if it's Dalton, I definitely fire. But
You know who
I just
I
don't think Young's got it.
you know who I love here at where is it at? Plus 550 is the Vikings.
550.
The Vikings defense. Bryce
Yeah.
Young, very mistake prone. He made some big mistakes in the shadow of his own end zone when he played that first game as well. I think that 550 is good value for the defense here.
I have a hard time betting the defensive touchdowns. It's just
I've had one every week where I just took the defense straight at 550, just put a nice little pile on it and just take them straight.
oh yeah, okay.
I had Miami, so frustrating. I had Miami 2 weeks ago, or no, I had them last week. I had them last week when they hung 70, and I think they had a strip maybe, and like that right on their own goal line and didn't go in, or like I just don't understand how I bet Miami's D to score. They score 70 and I can't get paid. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. So, but other than that, I said, I mean, there's some weird value down low. You look at like Laviska, Laviska Chenault and like Kirk Cousins to run one in, and like if I'm looking at like the guys in like the plus 600 range, like that area, do I like Chenault,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, or like the defense? I think is the scenario that I see most likely happening, and so it's like I'll definitely have the Vikings D as probably as a sit alone. I won't put it with anything because it's too bad. It's like something else I'm going to talk about a little bit later. So
Yeah, maybe Cam Akers. I don't know how much he's going to play. He had him.
It's
at
such a
plus
mystery.
30 something, but it's they got three guys now that I think
400
are
though.
okay.
Yeah, plus 400, right? Yeah,
It's like, do they put him on the goal line and he steals those touchdowns from Madison? Who knows?
sure.
I don't know. Not a lot of people know this guy, that's C.J. Ham.
Yeah,
Your fullback.
sure.
They use him a little bit, but I just don't think there's anything I can.
Yeah.
Fall in love with.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, a game that Bettor X and I adamantly disagree on here. This is the Bengals and the Titans. We spent, we sit down each week and talk about every game. We sit down for about 2 hours every week and we talk about all the games and all the lines and what it's going to look like for GV Sports and giving them out and what our premium plays are going to be and overs and unders and things like that. I would say we spent 20% of our time talking about this game this week for whatever reason. I think we adamantly disagree on what it looked like. I think maybe I still have rose-colored glasses on. I think the Bengals are still kind of working through their lumps. I think that they're a better team than they've played. They've had some nice time of possession. I thought they looked really good against the Rams, even though the score didn't reflect it. I think he disagreed. And so, obviously, we loved Tennessee last week, and that was just a flop. That was embarrassing watching them just get beat down by the Browns. And so I'm trying to get right on the right side of it. Maybe I'm trying to overcorrect here. And so there's a lot I like in this Cincinnati and Tennessee game. Do you have anything that pops out before I talk about it?
Nothing much. I don't know why, but I just always see I'm seeing the Tennessee offense on the screen on red zone, and every time it's Tannehill on the ground. I have trust issues firing money on Tennessee's offense.
Yep.
Obviously, your safe bet's Derrick Henry, but even then,
minus 130
Spears
though.
is slowly
minus 130. Yeah.
Spears is slowly getting more and more carries.
It's funny. We had Spears. We had it right. He was like plus 400 the first week and then plus 380 the next week. And I'm like, Spears, just getting carry shares, Spears. And then now he's only like plus 200. So it's like slowly everyone's figuring out that he's getting the ball. It's like, we had the value and he couldn't get in. But no, I agree with you. Someone made a joke to me this week about how, did you hear about how Tannehill's jerseys the sales are so down? And I'm like, yeah, why? What do you mean? They're not selling as many? It's like, yeah, people can't find it because they don't know what number it is because he's on his back so much. He's on his back all game. It's like, oh well, that tracks. So,
I
but yeah,
like that.
yeah. So, but I think Jamar Chase. Here's what I understand. They put Justin Jefferson every week minus 115, minus 130 every week, and then Jamar Chase is and Stephon Diggs minus 120 against Miami. You've got Jamar Chase against one of the teams that I think the defense is on the field all game. They're gassed. They're tired. You got a burner, one of the best receivers in the league, and he's still plus 120. I mean, I think he went in finally against the Rams, which was nice. I like it. He's gonna be in my safe pick round robin or my safe pick parlay. I'm gonna have him in a lot of places. I think. So I told Bettor X. I said I think I like Chase to go in a bunch. I like it a lot. So yeah. My Tannehill to run one in plus 650. Bengals D also pretty good value, 700 plus 700 with all the mistakes that Tannehill has made. But yeah, Mixon plus money to go in. It's crazy to me that in this game the biggest minus is Derrick Henry. That a Titan, after they got absolutely manhandled by the Browns. I just don't understand how you could have a Titan be the number one here in this game. So Rams and Colts, Anthony Richardson back in the fold. He's the favorite to go in, minus 105. So I mean that's not surprising. I'm starting him in fantasy this week, so over Joe Burrows probably. So, but yeah, against the Rams team, him and Zach Moss both picked to go in. It's a weird one. The Rams I think are a small favorite, or the Colts are minus one, depending where you get it, pick or back one and back and forth. But then the two main guys are Colts to go in here. So obviously the bettors like them individually, but maybe not to stop the Rams. So do you have anybody in this game super that you like?
No, nothing really. I mean, Moss, yeah.
There's just not value here.
But
anybody I trust is so small.
Yeah, there's nothing I absolutely love in this one.
Yeah. I don't think that Richardson is a bad one to like plug in with some other stuff maybe, but the sample size is so small. You know what I mean? Like he looked great. I think he ran to him before he got the concussion. And is he going to be tentative? And since he got the concussion, is he going to try to hang back? Is he going to try to throw the ball a little bit more? I'm not sure which version of him we're going to get. And so I'm kind of staying away from this game just because I'm not sure what it's going to look like, and I don't know what Rams team is going to show up. I think if I was going to fire, like you said, Moss maybe, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure on that.
I got nothing.
Pittsburgh, Houston. This is another one that it's kind of an interesting matchup. You have Houston, who what the fuck? What was that Jags game last week? What was every time I turned it back, they cut back to it. It's like Houston's in the red zone, and I was like, what is happening here? Like 4 weeks ago, the Jags were a Super Bowl contender. They look like what?
Yeah, like
CJ. Every time they cut, it's like CJ Stroud like strutting down the field, just torching the Jacksonville. I felt like I was taking crazy pills every time it came on. So, and now they have.
I mean, I like what Stroud's doing.
Yeah, and now they have Najee Harris as the number one likely goal scorer or touchdown scorer in this game. It's like everything about this game does not make any sense to me. So, I don't know.
I'm gonna. The only thing hasn't scored a bunch, I guess. So maybe that's why he's still plus 200. But Nico Collins gets so much value every week in and week out. Nico Collins, I've told you, I'm huge on him. But I like what CJ Stroud's doing down there. On the Steelers side, there's nothing I love. I think Jalen Warren can take stuff from Najee, and
he's only a slightly bigger dog. He's plus 145. So
yeah, and like even at that, it's like you have two guys where you're coin tossing.
Yeah, you'd like to
Warren's
get a little bit
plus
better
250.
money.
I really like it a lot more, but
even in the high hundreds, like if you could get Warren in the 180s or the 170s, or Najee even not dead even pick, I think it's just not good value for me. And put them together maybe, or I don't know, but I don't hate Stroud running one in plus 400. I don't hate that. He's quick on his feet, but he hasn't been scrambling a lot, not as much as he did in college. So not a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't. That's I until I see it more,
sure.
I can't.
I like George.
Like, yeah, he can move and stuff. But
I like George Pickens too. I think Pickens is moderately good value, plus 170. I had him last week too, and he had some nice catches, but had a drop in the end zone, which is frustrating from a better standpoint, obviously. But yeah, this is a game we like the Steelers a lot here. The line feels really trappy. It's like a -3 line, which we like a lot. But yeah, it's an interesting one. So the next game, we spent probably half our time talking about this game. Yeah, when we talked about it yesterday, and that is the Ravens and the Browns. And he was so hyped on the Ravens, and I'm just like, man, I felt like I had my pants around my ankles and my hands on the table last week with the Titans as a play that we put in. And I'm not gonna do it again. I'm like, yeah, let's take the Ravens. Yeah, take the Ravens here. And then the Browns go out and win by 30. I was like, I can't do it. I'm staying away from this Browns team unless we're firing on the Browns, and I can't do it against the Ravens because the Ravens are too explosive. So this is a weird one for me. Everybody plus in the game, no minus. So
Yeah,
but yeah,
I don't know on this game.
I love
on the Ravens side.
I love Mark Andrews here, plus 235. He still hasn't got in, and I think the Browns D is good, and so I think he's going to feel hurried with Myles Garrett in his face. I think there's going to be a lot of dump offs. I think Andrews is a good candidate for over reception yards.
Sure.
Or receptions, not reception yards maybe, but receptions and things like that. Because I think that Cleveland front is going to get right in his face, and so I like that as a thing. I feel like we talk about a Ravens stack every week. You know, I love Zay Flowers. Love me some Zay Flowers every week.
Yeah,
has he gone in? I don't think Zay Flowers has scored.
I don't think
so either.
Scored.
Yeah.
At least he hasn't when it's been in my bet.
Which means if we don't put him in today, he's going in 4 times. I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you guys know I'm not betting Zay Flowers. Use it as however you want. Good luck. I don't love anything on the Ravens side. I just don't know who to trust. I do know Odell's out, but the running backs.
Bateman is probably not playing as well.
That can run it in.
Yeah, Bateman's probably out today.
Lamar's can carry it in. You got Gus Edwards, Hill. I don't love anything on either side really. I love the Browns defense. That's about the only thing I like about this game. Everything else, I just got question marks.
What's the Browns defense value here? Plus 800? That's not bad.
But I don't think Lamar's going to make that big of a mistake.
Yeah, the defense is great.
Pick 6.
Yeah, the defense is great, but he is not a catastrophic mistake maker generally.
Yeah.
He got stripped in week 1, and they pointed out on SportsCenter the other night when I was watching it, he's been securing the ball way more aggressively, which is bad for us for firing defense, but good for him, obviously. So, but yeah,
I would possibly, I don't know what the over-under for sacks for the Browns, but I'd take whatever it is and take the over. I mean, I think especially with a guy like Lamar who's going to try and extend that play, I think he's going to get caught up, and I think they're going to get to him.
It's definitely a number that I will look at as well. I think this isn't a game where I don't love any of the touchdown props. I like some of the other stuff because I think the game's going to play out.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
All right, here it comes. The Broncos. Oh. The Broncos and
hold on, my DoorDash is here.
Oh, the DoorDash is here. He's on vacation. All right, his DoorDash is here. We will take a quick break with you guys, and we will be right back with the back half of our anytime touchdown picks. Stick around. Welcome back, guys. We are here with the All the Rest podcast, week number 4. We're getting back into it. We got our first half looked at. Let's have a look at these last half a dozen games as well as the Monday night games. Our second half, a good kickoff for you here. The Denver-Chicago game. Now, JD and I were talking about last night. We do a football pool here in our local bar that you just pick winners. And he's obviously on vacation, so I put his winners in for him. And he sends me his picks, and we had every single game picked the same except this game. I had the Bears winning outright, and he has Denver. So it'll be interesting to see. Basically, it's gonna be really funny watching. That game's the difference. So it's so funny. So anything you like. This is a stupid question because the answer for anyone that's not a Broncos fan should be absolutely not. But is there anything you like in this game?
Both teams, I think, have a good offense.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I think you're right.
Wilson's
I
been
take that back.
okay. Wilson has been okay.
Wilson's not the problem. Like I said it earlier, I had a perfect view of that defense. I mean, there's at one point there was 7 guys on the ground of the Denver defense, like
Yeah.
just missed tackles or got just bullied.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of scoring here because I think both defenses are really bad. I don't love the Bears' offense, but I think with Fields, I think he's going to score. I like him scoring. I like him actually to be a first touchdown scorer because this Broncos defense is the worst I've ever seen. It ain't going to get better with a flip of a switch. I mean, they're like ranked 30th in like everything. It's the complete opposite of last year.
Sure.
You know, DJ Moore I do kind of like as well. Like I said, I mean, I watched Tyreek Hill just carve up these guys in the secondary, and I think DJ Moore can get in.
Sure.
Like I said, I do like a lot in this because the defenses are so bad.
Yeah.
I think Fields is going to run around more. I think last week they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to let him run," but I think he's going to be like, "Nah, I have to run now." I mean, they're already.
He didn't throw for 100 yards last week, right? Granted, it was against probably one of if not the best team in the FC, but.
Like I said, I think a lot of these guys can score. I like Justin Fields being the first TD scorer in this one.
Plus 800.
Throw that in with the round robin. Change up the round robins this week. We'll get into that later.
Sure.
But I mean, both these teams are, I think, fighting for that first overall pick, potentially.
How pissed are the Cardinals? Right? They have their record and they have Houston's, and they're like, yeah, the Cardinals are going to have the first 2 picks in the draft, right? And then they go out, and Houston goes out and just beats the brakes off 2 teams last week. Their general manager's probably watching the monitor like, no! As the Giants or the Bears should have had 0 if it wasn't for Blaine Blaine Gabbert was the best quarterback on Chicago's roster last week. He got them the 2 best field positions they had the only time they went in, and I know that because I bet the Bears to score the least points. That was my weird pick last week, right? And it's like 45-0, and I'm like, this is a fucking stone cold winner, like for sure. And then they're like, all right, we're up 10,000 points. Let's put Blaine Gabbert in there. It's fine. And he drops back and he just throws it straight to the defender in their own red zone. I'm like, motherfucker! I was so angry. Yeah, Blaine Gabbert hung 10 points on his own team, that guy. So yeah. So I'm selling everything in this game. It's a shit show. I don't even want to watch it.
But I don't blame you. Like I said, I obviously will be watching it no matter how bad the team is. I got to root for him. But
of course.
Like I said, I think it's one of those things. It's too hard to pick how, you're betting that the defense is going to give up 1,000 points. Who's it going to be? I really don't know who.
This is the opposite of what. Yeah, this is the opposite of what we had in that Chiefs thing. It's like last week we talked about it, and it happened exactly like I thought. It was like, you like the Chiefs to hang 50 this week? Yeah, I do. You like any of their guys to score individually? I do not. And that was how it is this week. You like both teams to score 50?
Scratch my head on that, but it's just like, I'm going to pick one. It's going to be the other.
Yeah. And that's like this one. You like the total of this game to be 70? I do. You like anybody to score? I do not. So I think I might throw a little teaser out there, like on maybe some Chase Claypool and maybe some Jerry Jeudy. 125 plus 400 together, like just the front wide receivers to just go in.
Yeah, I mean, you could do something like that.
Sure.
I don't love the run game of the Broncos. They haven't been running it.
Sure.
Same with really the Chicago. Like the only one I like running it in is Justin Fields.
Fun fact: they have the oldest active player in the NFL is going in this game, plus 1,400 to go in. He is a tight end. Can you name him? Plays for the Bears, I believe.
I know Cole Kmet, but I know he's not that old.
He's the oldest and I would say, let's see, who's he actually? Does he play for? He is playing. He is playing for the Bears. Yeah, he is not on the. Well, of course he's not on the Broncos. You would know who he is. So it's for sure the Bears. Aaron Rodgers is obviously the oldest player in the league, but he's not active right now because he's injured. But Mercedes Lewis, still in the league,
80s Lewis.
38 years young.
Uh, I
Yeah,
mean that's the reason why I don't like betting on any of these because he might even score. Who knows? Like,
yeah.
I mean, this defense
I
is
might put that in
bad.
there. I might put that in there at plus 1400 as maybe in like maybe I go Claypool Lewis. How good would that feel of Hanson go the old wise man Mercedes Lewis getting in the end zone? Be like, yeah, good job. Yeah, Father Time scoring. I could just see him talking about it. So,
Oh yeah, you'd love that.
oh man, I would go batshit insane if that. I'm gonna write that down right now because I want to have that. Yeah, I might just at plus 1400. You can just put him by himself. You don't have to. You don't have to put anything together.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
parlays.
you just fire him alone.
That
Yeah,
is your parlay.
yep, just fire him alone. Here's what's crazy. The likelihood of him scoring is less. The odds you get, the plus 1400, is less than you get with like Diggs, Jefferson, Chase, 3-team parlay.
I was gonna say my 3 legs are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have to just for that though.
Oh yeah, we're definitely firing that for sure. So. Okay, here's another game that is kind of an interesting one. Some question marks. I have not looked at the practice result from today. I looked at it last night. That is Tampa and New Orleans. Did they come out and say anything about Derek Carr?
Yeah, Derek Carr went from week to week to day to day.
He was
I
limited
think last
yesterday, I
I
believe.
saw they believe he'll be fine to go. I would obviously double check that maybe before you fire. But I think he's good to go. I like Michael Thomas, who's getting targets, getting catches, hasn't seen the end zone. Um, I think you're still getting Michael Thomas at like plus 210 maybe. But he's went I think 8, 9, and 8 targets, so he's getting volume there.
And if it's
Um,
Winston, that's great value because we know that Jameis Winston loves Michael Thomas. They're very close, and he definitely. So
and another thing is, what week is it?
Carr was limited this week, yeah. So he did
No, Alvin
practice.
Kamara is back.
Oh yeah, come. This better
Williams,
X
I think, might
better
still be
night.
hurt. This is
Better X and I talked about this game. We like the Bucks here. I think they were laying 3 or catching 3. They're catching 3, but like, what's going to be the plan with Kamara here? Such a question mark. It's good to know I don't have to listen to
I
you
think.
give me Taysom Hill every week now that Kamara is back. That's nice.
Oh, Taysom Hill, that ship has
Plus 285.
sailed. We are never throwing him in. I've got Kamara going twice in this game.
Plus 120 already, like right into plus 120. The Bucks defense has been
I
good.
mean, I think Kamara's better. He's extra fresh. He wasn't hurt, suspended. So there's a
True.
difference. Like
True.
he's I think gonna have fresh legs. I
Frothing
think
at the
he's
mouth
gonna.
to get out there and go. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, then there's no one else behind him. I don't know if Williams is playing, but even
It
if
does
that,
not look like
it's
he's
not
playing.
stop. That's not start. That's not stopping Kamara from going in twice. I think maybe
He's
even 3 times if you're really feeling frisky,
cool.
because there's
That's
only one person on this. There's only one person on this team who can
you're
do
gonna
anything.
you're gonna give
Kamara.
out Kamara 3 times today, and then Taysom Hill's gonna snap score a minute 41 seconds into this game. 100% now that you gave out a 4 times or 3 times Kamara. So no one on the Bucks you like. I agree with that. I don't think Mike Evans is the only one I like, and he's plus 180, which is high. But the Saints D has been very good, minus the meltdown in
Yeah,
the end against the Packers. But it has been very good, and so there's nothing I like with consistency and value here with the Bucks. So Raiders Chargers here. This is another one. This is kind of a get right game. A lot of people think for the Chargers here. They think that they're going to go out and hang them. Jimmy G, I believe, is out. Is that correct?
have not looked at that one at all. Don't really care. Don't really like this game. Um, let me hold on. That's a lie. You have something here. Um, I like Palmer here. I like Josh Palmer, or Joshua, whatever.
Okay.
I like him to score. Williams, ACL, whatever. He's out for the season. I like him to score. I think I still have him at plus 210, and I think he's a pretty good wide receiver out there. Um, other than that, just Eckler, if he plays, not worth it. I
Sure.
don't think Kelly's good as a running back, and you're not getting value there. But I like Josh Palmer going in once.
Yeah, Josh Palmer 170. That's not terrible. Yeah. So this is another one that uh, it's I don't know. This one's weird. Eckler when he's healthy minus 250, like just insanity. Kelly, like you said, minus 135. Keenan Allen minus 105. It's crazy to me that the Chargers are only I think a 3-point favorite in this game, or 6-point favorite, or I have to look that up. I'm gonna give you guys bad information here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't do much
Can't
looking into this game.
remember what the line. We talked about it. Yeah, they are currently
and if
five. They're 5.5-point favorites, and they have 3 guys individually who are negative, like touchdown scorers. So like the book thinks that those 3 guys are going in before you even get to Devontae Adams, who's also a negative.
Where's this game at? Who's home?
They are at the Chargers. I think this is a get right game for the
okay.
Chargers, but again, it's like the value is just like I'm going to take the 3 guys that are going to score and get a minus and make 2.5 to 1 on my money. It just doesn't. There's not a lot of value there for me so far. Yeah. Okay. This is another. So the next game here, this Arizona San Francisco game. So this for me is very much. I'm going to write it down right here so I don't forget about it. This for me is very much the same as I made sure to not wear a black shirt this week too. We talked about how a buddy of mine watched the podcast and said he looked like I was like like I had huge traps. He's like, you look like Bill Goldberg on the podcast, you know? So,
You did.
yeah, and so I was like, I gotta wear not a black shirt this week. So, but I love a 49ers stack here. McCaffrey is the biggest dog, minus 275, which is just pants on your head ridiculous.
I think he scored in every game.
Yeah, and you're playing arguably one of the worst teams, one of if not the worst team in the league. It's crazy when I look at this. The first 5 guys on the list are
Niners. Negatives.
Yeah, well, no, only McCaffrey is negative. They're all plus, and so I think like Ayuk, Kittle, like McCaffrey stack, or like Ayuk, Kittle. Like even Purdy, like in there maybe.
I think Purdy's going to run one in pretty soon.
370, good value.
I think he's a little bit more athletic than some people.
Yeah,
they don't really think of Brock Purdy as the guy that's scrambling, but
it's weird too because I want to put McCaffrey in there too but it's just not gonna increase it. And I'll feel
you get no boost on it.
Yeah, and I'll feel
and then if you go Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, you'll be like, oh wow.
Well, and if I go Ayuk, Kittle, McCaffrey, and then instead of like Ayuk and McCaffrey's the one that doesn't score, and one of those other Elijah Mitchell goes in instead, I'm gonna be like, God dang it. I'm gonna be very upset with myself if that's the one that doesn't get in. So there's no way he doesn't get it. I think that Dallas got more exposed than the Cardinals looked good last week. Dallas just looked bad. Like, I don't think the Cardinals looked particularly good. Dallas just looked really bad. And so, I don't know. I think the Niners, in my opinion, the Niners are the best team in the NFL. They are the most complete team in the NFL. Barring injuries, they are the most complete team. They have one of, if not the best defenses in the league. They move the ball with efficiency. The run game is excellent. The wide receivers are good. Tight ends, the line is good. They're the most complete team in the league. I think every team is going to struggle to keep up with them, and they've shown it, all year. And I think that just having them as a stack is good value. And I don't want to have it with something else either because it's again, the Niners are one of those ones where I think you and I talked about it like that first game where they scored 38 points or whatever. Only 6 offensive guys even touched the ball. It was like Purdy, Ayuk, Samuel, Kittle, and both the running backs. Like those are the only people that touch the ball, in this offense. So, this is a funny stat here. Let me make sure I pull this up here correct. Like Ronnie Bell. Okay, this is how bad they think this game is going to be. They have James Conner as the 6th highest, plus 165. Right. Then they have Ronnie Bell. Then the next one down. Are you looking at it right here too?
No, I'm not.
The Niners D is the next lowest, plus 390. So after James Conner, they think that the Niners D is more likely to score than anyone else. And then Purdy. and then Ray McLeod, and then Jordan. It's just guys that haven't even touched the ball for the Niners all the way down, and then some Cardinals sprinkled in at the end. Like, oh shit, the Cardinals are playing. Put Zach Ertz in there too, yeah, plus 400. I don't care.
It is kind of crazy that the Cardinals, like, yeah, they are bad, but like, I feel like Josh Dobbs here, and don't want to waste time. He's trying to. I don't want to say prove a point, but he's trying to keep a job. He's trying to make money. He's going to go out. He's going to give it his all. If he goes, if I throw a pick six, I don't care. He's got nothing to lose. He was on the before he
Titans last year.
4 teams.
Yeah, Titans last year.
Like 4 teams this season, I think. He went to training camps and they cut him and they sent him a week before. I don't even think he got a preseason game in. And you're our starter, so he's got nothing to lose.
They signed him after they cut Colt McCoy. So
yeah, but like with James Conner being like, I know this defense is good, but
this is going to be the team that I fire to score. I think I'm going to start doing that every week, firing teams, like what team to be the lowest scoring team of the week. And I'm not going to talk about it in my weird props, but I think Arizona's got it. It's such an obvious one, but like I think Arizona's my pick to score the least. The only problem with that is I think this game could get 38-0 fast. And then you get second string guys in there, and they backpile like 10 points. So I don't know. Maybe the Eagles Jets game is a better choice for that, but yeah, I don't know. But I guess that's a risk in every game. So, all right, we got 3 more here. We got New England and Dallas. What do you think about this New England and Dallas game here? Tony Pollard minus 150, CeeDee Lamb 125. I feel like all we do is pile on CeeDee Lamb. Stevenson 135, Gallup, Cooks, Ezekiel. I love Zeke.
One guy.
I love Zeke last week. He ran for like 85 yards. He just can't get in the end zone. 220 now. The line is starting to come down now that he's getting the ball so much.
Coming back, going against the boys. I think it's in Dallas, right?
Yep.
I think Zeke scores here. I know we can't be like, oh, the revenge and like, oh, Belichick's going to make sure he scores and all that. You can't say that, but I think he's going to score. I think he's going to, he's going to do what was his old celebration, hopping into the big old
in the donation
bucket,
tub. One of my favorite celebrations ever was
have that there, but
one of my favorite celebrations ever was, I think that's just a Thanksgiving game. But one of my favorites ever was the Eagles when they were like, they ran up to it and they were like taking stuff out of it. They were taking stuff out of it and they were like, that was one of my favorite ever.
That's funny.
Yeah. But I think I agree.
I like Zeke. I like Zeke here.
Yeah. I wish the number was a little better. Plus 220. He was plus 380 last week, and I think I said he played well, 84 yards and a decent average. Averaged 4.5 a yard a carry or something like that. But yeah, there's not a lot else I really like in the game. So yeah. Kansas City Jets. This is another game where my plan is just to stack. They only have Travis Kelce minus 125. Like, yes, please. I've never felt so good about, like, a minus. Like, every time we look at these, like, oh, God, okay. Stephon Diggs is minus. I guess I'm not taking that. I'm like, oh, Travis Kelce, 125. What's the Trump meme with the button? It's like, buy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I feel about that. I can't get enough Kelce. So, and I think, like, they have the top 3 guys, like, Kelce, Pacheco, Sky Moore, or Kelce, Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, like plus 230, plus 235, plus 170, Edwards-Helaire plus 240. Like, yeah, this is another one where I'm going to stack. I don't know. Maybe I round robin.
I don't know. I don't love.
Or maybe I just pile on Kelce. I don't know.
The Jets defense still is okay.
You sound like
I think it's
sound like Bettor X. He was like, the Jets defense, they've been playing them tough, they've been playing them. They held New England to 15 points. So I'm just like, oh yeah, really high-powered New England offense. Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to go.
Dude, if you take that,
I still think the Jets.
If you take that Bills game out, like as a sample, like we were talking about Josh Allen, like notoriously doesn't turn the ball over. Like averages less than 1 turnover per game in his career. He turns the ball over 3 times in that game, like bad ones too. It's like it's such an enigma. It's such an anomaly game. Like if you take that out of their sample size, the defense doesn't look super good in my opinion. And he was like sold on him. He's like, we gotta have the Jets, kid. We gotta have the Jets. And I'm just like, there is no chance I'm ever letting you take the Jets. They're laying 9, I think, and something like that. And I was like, this game's gonna be 80-0. He's like, nah, they're not scoring 80 on the Jets. and I'm just like, this is I like it.
I mean, me and Better X might need to hang out more because we're kind of on the same. But
I
yeah,
wish there was a line on whether Taylor Swift would be at this game or not. That's the one I want to
oh,
take.
she's gonna. Oh,
To New York,
it'd
probably,
be.
right?
Oh, she'll be there.
Someone was.
Well, I don't know where her tour dates are,
I
but
think it's over, isn't the tour's over? I think, right?
who knows? Yeah, then she'll be there.
All
I
right.
mean, they're
If you were
basically
gonna tell me
married.
that I was gonna
Um,
Google Taylor Swift tour date,
that's
if you were
not in
told me that's
our
what I was gonna be googling this
not in our
morning,
things.
let's see. Yeah, that's. Let's see. Taylor
Gonna have to
Swift,
add a new
the
column.
the Eras tour date. Here we go, right here. October.
Well, while you're looking at that, I'll say I like Garrett Wilson here. I think he's like plus 215.
Yeah, he's the highest.
Someone's got to score on this team. Why not him? He's the highest, and he's like
Here's the
the only
thing.
guy that I think can
Somebody
score.
doesn't have to score on this team. So, remember last week when the Bears at one point I looked at that game, the Bears had negative points. It was like 45 to -3. That's how bad the Bears offense is. Taylor Swift does not resume her tour until October 8th. She's off for another 3 weeks. So, dude, DraftKings
Well,
fucked.
then I love
DraftKings
Kelsey scoring twice.
DraftKings fucked so hard that I'm willing to bet there's a Taylor Swift like attendance.
There's
Got to be, right?
there's-
DraftKings
next
fucks,
game,
man.
Next game. Let's go. Let's go. Next
All right.
game.
So that's the Sunday night game. The last game is the Seahawks and the Giants. Amazing to me looking at this game that the biggest minus is Saquon Barkley, right? He's even money. No one else is minus. It's insane to me. Kenneth Walker's right there as well, even money as well. But it's insane to me that there's not Matt Breida is plus 145 for some reason in this game. I don't understand that one at all. I wish there was a fade. I wish there was a reverse touchdown where I could fade them to not score. You know?
Uh,
What do you thought? What do you think
I
here?
think I like Barkley going in first. I think he's
Yeah.
going to be the first
Plus 700,
scorer.
not terrible value. They get the ball and move up the field, absolutely,
I
for sure.
there's nothing on the Seahawks side I'm probably ever going to like.
I think the Seahawks. I mean, I think the Seahawks are going to do a lot of what what Dallas did to the Giants. I think they're going to open the ball up and throw it a lot, and I think the defense is going to give Daniel Jones fits because we talked about. I still think he's one of the most overrated players in the league, but one of the most overrated, maybe not the most, maybe the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. But like I just think they're going to score a bunch of points. But this is that Kansas City thing last week. Like do I like them to hang 40? Yeah, I kind of do. Do I like any other guys? No, I really don't. Just the value for me isn't there. Plus 135 for Metcalf, plus 150 for Lockett, minus 110 for Walker. It's just like you don't know where it's going to go. Smith has done a good job of moving the ball around. Noah Fant, I think, led the team in targets last week after DK Metcalf. Kenneth Walker was second on the team in receiving yards last week with 60, something like that, after Metcalf. And so, I mean, if you're going to fire, I like Metcalf, but 135, I think he might be one of my, put him in my safe parlay type things at plus 135 because I think his likelihood of going off. And he's a guy that shows up. He's got a big head, big personality. He shows up in these games that are like nationally televised. It's nationally televised on a Monday night in New York. Like these are the games he generally shows up for.
He's a celebrity.
He is.
Yeah, he's a celebrity.
And he plays
wants to put on a
better.
show, that's for sure.
Right. He plays better in New York than he does in Memphis. You know what I mean? Or I guess there's not an NFL team in Memphis. We were spent this morning talking about the Grizzlies, about how shitty the Grizzlies are. But he plays better there than he does in small markets. So yeah. So all right. So I think we got some nice little ones. I think I'm going to be putting together maybe a Chase. Let's have a look here. Chase, Kelsey, Metcalf might be my nice little tasty one there, my low one. And I think my heavy plus one, something along the lines of Andrews, Michael Thomas, Latavius Murray, something along that range, or maybe Christian Kirk in that range in those 2+200 areas. So any three-team parlays, like smooth ones, just are with our low odds that you like coming off before we finish here.
I like the 3-leg anytime TD scores. I like AJ Brown. I didn't mention this. I slipped up.
I do.
Miles Sanders to go in, and then Alvin Kamara to go in.
Brown,
Did
Sanders,
mention
Kamara.
Sanders, how I liked him. Yeah, Brown, Sanders, Kamara, and then also for a little bit more higher risky one, Joshua Palmer, Zeke, and Garrett Wilson.
Okay. It's weird. The few times this is be week 4, but like the 2 weeks that we have went over and put everything in together, we've had a lot of overlap, and it was weird last week. I went with my wife, and I said, hey, I gotta go put these bets in. Normally me and Rouse go. Do you want to come with you? I'll buy you a burger, and she can go, and she's like, yeah, all right, that sounds good, and I'm like putting these bets in and like the values and like all the different amounts, and she's just like, it was like the scene in Happy Gilmore when Chubbs falls out the window and they cut to Lee Trevino. He's just like, you know what I mean? She just wasn't ready for it, but yeah, it'll be nice to be able to have somebody to bounce picks off, and I've picked a couple of ones years out as well. So you said you had okay, I'm looking at my own. Sorry. Okay. I think some good value. I mean, we're due because it's been a couple weeks since we've had a nice one that's really came through. So I'm looking forward to this week being able to watch it again and watch the full slate as well. So yeah, that was nice this week again having that.
We'll watch the one of the early morning games. I got a baseball game.
Okay. Well, we're still having.
We're not missing much. We're not missing.
I think it's only 3 afternoon games, right?
Afternoon games.
Yeah,
they're not good.
It's like Chargers. What is it? It's the 49ers and it's Dallas.
I think
the Dallas game, the Niners game, and the Chargers game. I think just 3 afternoon games. So I'm not gonna have a ton probably in both those outside. I'll probably watch the Niners game just because I'll probably have a stack. So, and we like them to win. So, all right, guys, we will be right back. We're gonna take a quick break with this promotional message from the Sports Video Library. We'll be right back with JD and I. We're gonna look at some fantasy week 4, some weird props. We got a couple gives for you here, round robin, and a little football guidance. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Are you a sports fan or a sports bettor? Are you a handicapper? Do you have a sports information podcast? Sports Video Library is a platform that brings thousands of sports fans and sports bettors together with dozens of pro and amateur handicappers all on one convenient location. Handicappers and sports analysts host short video clips and podcasts daily. Each video provides free picks on today's sporting events. So whether it's the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, college basketball or college football, horse racing, soccer, tennis, golf, UFC, boxing, or even your favorite fantasy sports league, the Sports Video Library will help you, the sports fan, make better and well-informed decisions. So don't hesitate. Get started now at the home for daily free sports picks, the Sports Video Library.
All right, we're back, guys. After that short message from the Sports Video Library, we're going to talk a little fantasy. JD obviously on vacation with his family. We're going to get him out of here real quick. He's going to give us our round robin bet. Anything that pops out on you this week in fantasy, booms or busts, guys, you might want to put in anything you have for us here?
This is kind of cheating since his day is already over. But if you got Gibbs, you got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Montgomery's not budging. Even when Gibbs was the guy, he wasn't the guy.
Sure.
They're not going to just magically give him carries because they spent a first-round pick over him. I personally have Gibbs. I'm looking to deal him.
Dump him,
I haven't really looked into fantasy today. I don't got much to say. Like I said, haven't been at Disney World the last 3 days.
Sure.
So it's hasn't been. I can't really say much fantasy-wise. I'm just kind of I did look at some TD scores.
Sure.
About that, but.
I like Anthony Richardson popping back and scoring going in a time or two. I think if you got him, we're going to start him. I think he's a good pick. I think Houston guys, and I know you disagree with this, I think Houston guys are going to be more proportionally started. Guys like Pierce and Nico Collins are probably get their percentage of starts going to go up, and I think they're going to be a disappointment this week. I think Pittsburgh's going to handle them pretty easily. So I think they're kind of my bust candidate. So round robin for us, Mr. Rouse. Do you have something that we can throw in that we can make a little money on? What do you think? What do you got for us?
I'm gonna kind kind of will change it up a little bit. I'm going to go the first TD scores. I'm going to do 3. So it's going to be a smaller round robin.
Okay.
Obviously, you do always, even with 3. I got Barkley to score first, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Fields to score first. All those guys are going to be around the plus 6 to 800 range. If 2 of those guys are the first one scored, you got a good cash out already. If all 3,
Sure.
you got a phenomenal cash out.
Sure. I like it. I like it a lot.
For my other one, I think I threw this in my regular parlay, but I had Palmer, Zeke, Wilson. I just turned that into a regular parlay. So
Sure.
For the round robins, I think we're going to go for the first TD scores. And if you want to do a bigger round robin, I think what I might do is the Palmer, Zeke, Wilson, and then throw in like Kelsey 2 TDs or.
Sure. I think the Kelsey 2 TDs should be pretty decent. The fact that he's minus 125, I think he's probably going to have good value for. I mean, it's probably like a. There's probably decent value there for him. 2 TDs, you would think, right? Considering his numbers pretty good.
I think it's probably plus 300 around there, but
let me pull it up here real quick.
So we'll change it up. We'll do a smaller round robin. We got to recoup
plus 400.
a little bit of money.
You're right. Plus 400.
So.
Yep.
As much as I'd love to have that big home run hit, coming off the vacation for me personally, I'm gonna
recoup a little. Yeah, I like it too.
Maybe not fire as big of a round robin as I usually
do.
So
sure. All right. Well, we appreciate you calling in on vacation. Obviously, they can tell you're sitting in the vacation room, but we love having you here.
Yep.
We're glad that we can give you some insight. I'm very excited to have you home. I'm excited to go on Sunday morning. I think we'll probably end up watching that London game and then going and putting all our bets in and stuff maybe in between, or depending on how that London game's going. But I'm excited to be able to get back together and get some bets going and watch some slate. So I will bid you adieu. Thank you again for being here. We're happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. We're going to take one more break, guys. I will be back with some weird props for you and a little bit of Grover's guidance before we welcome Bettor X in for one bet to save them all. Stick around, guys. Welcome back, guys. Thank you again to J.D. Rouse, giving us his picks, even on vacation. What a guy. Let's talk about some weird props that we like this week. So the first one I'm going to look at, the one we talked about, again, I talked about a lot with Bettor X, that is Chicago and Denver. I like the over 81.5 yards in that game for total touchdown scored yardage. Okay, so if there's a 40-yard touchdown and a 2-yard touchdown, I would be a winner. And as J.D. Rouse talked about, he thinks it's going to be a shootout. Both defenses very bad. I like the over in that one. You score 6 touchdowns between them. All they got to do is average, 15 yards or so apiece. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 big touchdowns in that game. I really like them to go over the yardage in that game. Hopefully, when you look at it, you see that they will be scoring those yardage for that game. So that's my first one. My second one, kind of a shot in the dark. It's a big, long parlay. We're banking on the 49ers just absolutely taking it to the Cardinals. Bettor X and I talked about it earlier this week. We think the Niners obviously the best team in football. We've been betting them and giving them out as such, and we think they are going to absolutely put the wood to them. Any type of parlay that's got them winning all the quarters, all the halves, scoring first, scoring second, the last to score, not allowing Arizona to get 10 points, scoring more than 14.5 points in the first half, any number or combination of those. If you look at them all, like all 10 picks for me, it looks like 49ers to score first, both teams not to score 10, so basically Arizona not to score 10, then would be the last team to score, minus 7.5 in the first half, minus 6.5 in the second half, to win all 3 quarters by at least 4 or 5 for the first quarter, which is the highest scoring quarter generally, and for them to score over 14.5 points in the first. You can get a nice plus 2,500 play, and I feel like if the Cardinals are going to be as bad as we think they are against the 49ers, we like the 49ers just absolutely take the wood to them. So that is our pick for my pick for our weird props this week. So If you guys signed on and you were looking for Grover's guidance of football instead of football, and you saw the rest podcast and you thought, hey, football has got to be on all the rest, I have a play for you. It hurts my heart to give it out. I'm a big Timbers fan, obviously, but I like Seattle. Tomorrow they play Nashville. They're at Nashville. Seattle 3rd in the West, Nashville 7th in the East, and Seattle's catching some plus here at Nashville, which is odd. And you would think, okay, they're on the road against a non-familiar foe in Nashville, but Seattle's the second best team in the league away from home. They have 22 points and only 3 points off the leaders away from home. And so Seattle, one of the best teams on the road. And Nashville, middle of the road at home, only 27 points at home, which is not a lot, good enough for 13th in the league, so middle of the road. So at good value, plus 170 with a draw as a push, we like the Seattle Sounders to be very good money here with some football. And again, I hate to give it out because I'm always rooting against the Sounders, but I will not be rooting against them tomorrow, as I will have them on a ticket because I think they are road warriors, and I've been watching them beat teams up on the road all year. 22 points, to the tune of 22 points, and I think they are good value for football. So again, Grover's guidance, some weird props for you. We will take one more break. We'll be right back with Bettor X. Stick around, guys. All right, welcome back in, guys. We've got Bettor X on the phone. He's going to give us one bet to save them all. Bettor X, thank you for joining us again. It's nice to have you. How are you?
Always a pleasure, Chad. How are you?
I am doing very well. We got some good props this week. Mr. Rouse is back. We're going to be able to fire together. What do you got for us to save the weekend?
Well, in this matchup, I mean, I'm looking at a team it's not a hard team to look at. Obviously, they're undefeated on the year. They're the NFC champions. This Eagles team in this division matchup against the Commanders. Now, the Commanders, a lot of people might look at them as, especially going into last week, as a team that looked like a live dog. You know, they covered and they won both their first 2 games against the season.
Sure. Unfortunately,
what people forget is that Sam Howell, this is literally his first year under center. This is his first year commanding an NFL offense, no pun intended. And I'm looking at him going on the road in a division matchup against a Jalen Hurts squad, a defense that's healthy. You saw with what they did to Baker Mayfield, who, if you look at the comparisons of both quarterbacks, are basically the same built, almost in the same kind of the same technique throwing.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, now they have to go on the road and face that Philadelphia defense, which is just ferocious. You saw again with what they did Monday night to the Buccaneers, and I just feel the running game, the passing game, there's just too many weapons for the Eagles. And the fact that this line, it was like -8, 8.5, it's up to 9. In my eyes, this game's a double-digit winner, no problem.
Okay.
And I would say, yeah, even if you get 9.5, don't worry about it. Like I said, I mean, this game, I won't be surprised when this game's 31-14 final.
Okay, I like it. I heard somebody on a podcast that I was listening to yesterday call Sam Howell Dollar Tree Baker Mayfield. I thought that was a great line.
If someone made that T-shirt, I would wear it because that definitely fits for him, and we'll see it again. We'll see it again on Sunday because again, these Eagles, it's not the Broncos D that he's going up against, and it's certainly not the Arizona Cardinals. You know, again, he's playing the NFC champions, and he'll have the same kind of go around the Bills gave him last Sunday.
Yeah, I think it's a rude awakening for him. He gets those first 2 games, and he gets the Broncos and the Cardinals, and then he sees Joshua Dobbs, and then last week he gets the Bills, and he sees Josh Allen, and this week he sees Jalen Hurts, and you just see these guys that are just freak athletes, and it's got to be demoralizing if you're him, right? Looking at these guys.
I mean, what he's seeing, I mean, that defense that he has to see on both ends, and now he has to see this Eagles defense. It's
rough.
And especially in the division, they're going to learn real quick with why they're going to be looking for a quarterback in the NFL draft come April.
Well, we appreciate it. I like it. I like the pick. We'll have action on it as well. Hopefully all of our listeners will too. Thank you again for being here. Again, we don't want to keep you too long. Keep you safe. We will see you next week. Thank you for being here again.
Thank you, Chad.
Absolutely. All right, guys, one more break. We'll be right back with our wrap-up. Stick around, guys.
Are you a sports fan or a sports bettor? Are you a handicapper? Do you have a sports information podcast? Sports Video Library is a platform that brings thousands of sports fans and sports bettors together with dozens of pro and amateur handicappers all on one convenient location. Handicappers and sports analysts host short video clips and podcasts daily. Each video provides free picks on today's sporting events. So whether it's the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, college basketball or college football, horse racing, soccer, tennis, golf, UFC, boxing, or even your favorite fantasy sports league. The Sports Video Library will help you, the sports fan, make better and well-informed decisions. So don't hesitate. Get started now at the home for daily free sports picks, the Sports Video Library.
Welcome back, guys, to the All the Rest podcast. Week 4, closing out. Hopefully you like some of our anytime touchdown props. Me and Mr. Rouse feel like it's our best week to cash some big winners this week. BettorX had that one bet to rule them all. He's 1-0 betting the Eagles. Why won't it be 2-0? I hope you have that action too. Hopefully you've got the Sounders in our Grover's guidance. Mr. Rouse had some nice round robin advice for you too, which I really liked, and there's some weird props in there for you too, including the 49ers blowing out the Cardinals. So hopefully you liked it. We appreciate you guys clicking. If you're here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate it. It costs you nothing and it helps us give us some analytics on who's watching and what they're watching and what they love. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Talk about how much Sean sucks or something like that. I've seen that in a few comments. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys next week. May your tickets be live and your winnings be monstrous. Have a good one, guys.